You probably have heard several news articles and agents telling you that the housing market is going up next year for 2024. 2023 is almost over, and now people are predicting that 2024 is about to become a really crazy time for real estate, with prices going up, interest rates going down, everyone getting low mortgage rates, and people just buying like crazy. If you don't buy now, you're going to be buying a more expensive home next year. A lot of these things are false, and let me tell you why. There's just so much misinformation about the housing market right now. Way too many agents, way too many hedge funds, way too many everyday people even just expecting a massive increase in housing prices. Well, guess what? Housing prices already went up in the past 3 years since 2021. Okay, it can't go any higher, and there's several reasons why, from interest rates falling, which is not a good thing apparently, to a bunch of new construction, and all the way to a bunch of apartments being built. So if you're a home buyer and you want to get something, guess what? 2024 is going to be the year of cheaper houses, not more expensive houses. I think a lot of people are being lied to, and let's just dive right into this. So first of all, new construction is making up a humongous chunk of the inventory. And this has never happened in the history of the United States. And one of the biggest reasons why is generally new construction only makes up about 8 to 9% of all pending sales. But for some reason, new construction is taking a chunk of 30 to 40%, sometimes even 50% of all real estate transaction sales here in the US, and some certain cities are crazier than others. Check out places like San Francisco. There's a lot of used homes, right? But then you check out places like Austin, Texas. There's so many new construction homes, it's actually kind of scary to see the situation. Now zoom out and let's just put 2021. Apply and look at all these dots. Every single dot that you see here that has like a house logo doesn't recommend a single house. It recommends a whole neighborhood of houses. So can you imagine you got communities like these, which range in the units from just a few units to several hundred units, and they're just building houses like crazy. This is why Austin real estate prices in the past 12 months dropped 10%, because so many people are building houses, suburban communities like crazy. These guys are literally competing with each other. Look at this sector, right, in North Texas. Look at the amount of new construction communities all clumped together. They're literally competing and fighting each other for your dollar. That community cuts prices, then this community cut prices, and then a bunch of communities start cutting prices just to get your money. So competition is wrapping up, and what's even worse is you're going to be seeing another several thousand, hundreds of thousands, in fact, of brand new construction homes in the upcoming few months. All the way to the summer of 2024, you're going to be seeing even more new construction because a lot of these loans were taken before the Fed started hiking up interest rates. And generally, when these massive real estate neighborhoods are planning and being built, it takes them like 2 to 3 years to finish up. So we're going to be having even more houses that are not listed on Zillow being listed for next year. And let me tell you, if you look at some of the data and the amount of homes some of these developers are planning, it's in like the tens of thousands. And it doesn't make any sense, right? So many people are just buying these new construction homes and they're building like crazy. And when you build like crazy, inventory just simply goes up. And what's even worse about this is the reason why there's so many people buying new construction homes is if you buy a new construction home, chances are your interest rates are a lot lower. If you buy a used home, you're not going to be getting lower interest rates than the market value. You're going to be getting like 6-7%, even closer to 8%. But if you hook up with these developers, guess what's going to happen? These developers, since they build a bunch of houses, get exclusive mortgage bundles with the regional bank. So when they have these local bundles, they could do like 5.5% interest rates, and they pass on those savings to the buyer. So buyers go crazy, buy a bunch of new construction homes, and then next year when interest rates get cut, guess what happens? Owners who have existing property, used property, start selling, right? And then the people who bought new construction also start selling. And then you have people who build new construction sells even more. So when you have a bunch of sellers on the market, of course prices drop like a rock. And that's what's happening here. And new construction torpedoed Austin rents. It really did. You saw the map on Zillow. The amount of new construction is bonkers. It doesn't make any sense. South Florida, like Miami, it's the hotspot for real estate. People love Miami. But guess what's happening here? Check out Miami and look at the amount of new construction units. It's everywhere. In fact, it's scary to see this many units. These are whole entire skyscrapers selling condos over $1 million. And they have from a range of just 50 condos to 700 condos per building complex. And even in this still picture, you already see continued building everywhere. There's sky cranes just littered through the Miami skyline. And look at this, right? This is another building. They're building 2 towers, and I guarantee you well over 200 condos for sale. Same thing with this condo building here, this condo building here, and this brand new luxury condo there. You get the idea. There's just so much construction, but there's just not that many buyers. And what's worse is if you look at the secondhand market, there's even more condos now being sold. As interest rates go down, more and more people start selling their units, because that's the whole thing of real estate investing. It just keeps you in debt. A lot of people who own a condo or a house, they sell it and then they take out a cheaper mortgage and buy 2 homes, rent one of them out, and then pretty much just slowly build up their real estate portfolio. But when everyone starts doing it and the new construction is selling like crazy, prices are dropping like a rock, and a lot of these units are not being sold. Miami, people keep saying how great the real estate situation is there. Same thing like what they said to Austin, and then a bunch of people start buying and even more developers start building, prices collapse, right? Don't get soaked up into the hype. Just like how people got soaked up into the Austin real estate market, bought it at the peak, now they're holding it back. Some suburban neighborhoods are down 15% in a matter of just a few months. Real estate is supposed to be a very stable investment, goes up every few years. But now people buying this massive bubble pops, and now it's going to take them like the next 5 to 10 years to get that price back. And then you also have big corporations scrapping huge projects. Now, if real estate is so good and real estate prices will keep going up, then why did Google scrap plans for a $15 billion construction deal with Lendlease in Silicon Valley? Google actually looked into the real estate situation in the Bay Area in California. And what they noticed was a lot of cheap rents, a lot of foreclosed office buildings. And this is very troubling. Google sees this and they're like, you know what, we're scrapping plans to build. Seems like real estate is not worth as much as before the pandemic. The bubble is popping and we're done with this plan. Because $15 billion is a lot of money. That's like several skyscrapers, massive campuses, and huge plots of land. And they're saying no to this. Home foreclosures are on the upswing nationwide. Home foreclosures up 34% from the same time just last year. And there's another thing that's fueling the home foreclosures, not just higher interest rates and people over leveraging, but also the Airbnb industry. Airbnbs are extremely profitable, but people started noticing that Airbnbs are no longer that profitable compared to a few years ago because everyone started doing it, right? If you go to places like even Orlando, 10 minutes from Disneyland, people say they barely have anybody renting every month. Like they're lucky to get like 5 nights per month, which is pretty bad. You could barely pay your utilities with that money. And places like New York City, an extremely lucrative Airbnb market, already got torpedoed as well, right? They put a huge ban in the Airbnb industry in New York City and pretty much took out 80% of the listings, and 80% listings, many of them are going towards the foreclosure route. Another factor for massive construction is cheaper lumber prices. Lumber prices are getting cheaper than ever before, and on top of cheap oil, you have a situation where developers could build a bunch of homes for cheap, and some are even deciding to pass on some of these savings to the buyers. Too much competition in the real estate market, guys. Like seriously. Even places like South Florida, where there's a lot of buyers already, a lot of rich people moving here, but the construction is just getting out of hand. We're seeing a bunch of loans being taken out at high interest rates. And if these developers can't sell these units fast enough or build quick enough, then the banks take these units. So this is wild. This is madness, guys. You will never see this much construction back in 2018 and 2019. Real estate just seems a lot more tame. But now people are just building like crazy, and some of these units, and we even saw whole buildings in California, for example, just foreclosing because they can't sell any units. So thanks for watching, guys. Comment below. A lot more crazy stuff is going to happen in the 2024 real estate markets, and subscribe for more.